can I tell you a secret? If you've done a live stream as a musician and you've played your music live to an audience and you think you've done it well, then you can actually release that as an album and it takes practically no effort whatsoever. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to take your live stream and turn it into an album, because I've done that once and I'm going to do it again and show you how to do it. But don't tell anyone, okay? It's just you and me, okay? Loads of musicians are actually going to live streaming and they're performing live, where it's a unique experience. And the great part is you get that raw sound, you get that raw element of being live. So today I'm going to show you how we can extract the audio from a live stream and turn it into an album for your audience and for your fans. And stick around to the end because I'm going to show you the easiest way to release your music, and I've even got a code for you as well. So the first part is grabbing the audio from one of your previous live streams. Of course, first and foremost, you need a good quality recording. However, if you've forgotten to record the live stream independently or you've forgotten to record the event, don't worry, because you can still grab the audio from more than one location. Now, the number one thing with this is the live stream must be repeatable, aka you must be able to play it back. So on things like YouTube, on Facebook, on a couple of different platforms, you can watch the live stream back. However, certain platforms like Instagram Live or TikTok Live, once that live stream has happened, it's happened. You can't watch it back. It's not replayable. For this example, I'm going to be using ReStream because that's why I actually stream through. I use ReStream to stream. If you're using things like OBS, you can record yourself in OBS whilst live streaming at the same time. Or if you're using one of the major players like Facebook or YouTube, then you can grab the video and the audio there. Now, the first one is ReStream. I use ReStream all the time. That's my streaming online software of choice, as it were, and I use that for streaming to multiple places. However, one of the advantages of it is that it saves the live stream as a recording for you. So when you're logged in, what you can do is you can go to video storage. You can see I've actually got one of my older videos there about a year ago, and you've also got recordings. So if you go to recordings, it saves the last couple for a couple of weeks. So we've got 2 recordings here, and I'm actually going to go over to the midweek live loop and Looping My Brain Live, and I'm going to grab both of them. If you click the 3 little dots here, you can see download. If I click to download, it's going to say download the full video or download the full audio. So I can just download the audio, which is really handy. One of the clever things, if you want to repurpose your content with ReStream, is you can download the individual video tracks. So if you had more than one video going, I have 2 cameras, I've got this one, and I've got one over here when it's looking at the equipment on the desk, then you can grab all the files. So this one says it's got 3 files, it's 1.47 gigs because it's 2 cameras and 1 audio file. However, we just need the audio file, so we're going to click download on that. I'm also going to click on the one that says Looping My Brain. You can see it says it expires in 9 days, 10 days. You get 2 weeks to actually go and grab it, which is really great. Imagine you've done the best performance of your life and you think, oh, I wish I could grab that. Well, if you use ReStream, you can. Now, if you're interested in using ReStream, you can use ReStream Studio completely free. I have a code that's on the screen now to sign up to ReStream, and that's going to give you $10 of ReStream credit. Now, while we've been talking, this has been downloaded. I'm going to go to downloads. We're going to have a look at the previous one here. And as I play it, it's actually got the entire 2 hours that I did, and that's fine. These are the ones that we want. You can see they're the ReStream ones. You can see they're there. And then what I need is I need some kind of digital audio workstation or audio splitter to be able to grab the audio at the time that I wanted. This is the longest period, so we need to grab the audio, split it up into its songs, and then cut out the waffle of me talking in between the songs. Now with me, I'm actually making songs up on the spot, so I don't know what they're called because they're made up in that moment. If you're actually recording a set list or recording something that's quite structured, that will be easier. But I'm going to use Logic on the Mac because that's what I've got. This is overkill, if I'm completely honest, but you could use something like GarageBand on the Mac or any digital audio workstation that's free on a PC. You could even do this on a tablet because you just need to be able to chop up the audio. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to create an empty project and I'm just going to create audio. So we just want an audio track and we just hit create. Now for now, the simplest thing on a Mac is actually just grabbing the audio and throwing it in there. So I'm going to throw it in as a track. Now this is a really large file because it's over 2 hours long. So it's going to take a little bit of time converting it because it's an M4A. So it's going to change it over so we can actually hear it. Now at the beginning, it looks like there's nothing there. And that's because this is a really large file. So let me actually bring this back in and there you go. You can start to see the waveforms. Let's make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So you can start to see the waveforms kick in and it's going to obviously convert it. I'm going to get rid of that other track. and then I'm just going to start moving this. There we go. So we can start seeing the parts where I was talking and where the audio is, and you're going to have to just literally go through the point of the audio. So this is a 2-hour long audio file, but that's okay. What we can do is we can start going through. Now the first thing is, of course, there was a couple of minutes of silence, so we can get rid of that and we can start playing it. So I've just cut the beginning of that off. The second thing I'm going to do is bring the other one in. So we're going to have a 4-hour session of different audio from 2 different live streams. So let's grab the audio from that. So I've got the audio here, so that's the second one. So we'll bring that in. Now I'm bringing this second one in. However, I don't want it underneath to begin with, because I actually want it next door to each other. So again, this is going to be massive, and we're just going to do this. So we just have to give, you can see it's actually loading up all the different audio here. So it takes a bit of time as it pre-populates where the audio is. But what we'll do is we're just going to drag it over to there. Just to show you, if I custom this, you can see actually the amount of hours. So this is almost 5 hours long. So we're not going to go 5 hours long on this for the entire thing. We can get rid of that track for now. What we need to do first of all is cut out the bits we don't need. So we've zoomed in, and the first part is actually the ReStream background music. I have a timer that counts down on ReStream when I play live, and it plays for 5 minutes. So these first 5 are actually the ReStream music. There it is. So I don't need that. We're going to actually cut that down, and we're going to go over to here, which is the next part.
Hi, we'll try that again.
There we go. So me talking away. Now it's a little bit low to begin with, but we're going to change that, don't worry. And there is our first song. So on a Mac, on Logic, Command T is trim. So we'll just get rid of that first bit, and then we're going to move this along, and we're going to find where this song ends. And it's there. So one of the big tips for this, if you're doing a live stream or you're doing a live performance, then have a little bit of a gap in between performing and then talking. If you talk straight afterwards, it's going to be really hard to cut. I never used to do this, but now you'll notice that when I finish a song, I'll give it 2 or 3 seconds before I go, good morning, hi, whatever, and then I'll actually cut it from there. So I've got that gap. So you'll now hear me talking.
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening or watching from. My name is...
There we go. And we don't need that anymore. So we're going to cut that. So we go trim. And we're going to then find our next piece.
Now, loop like a pro. We have had a bit of a change around. So we've... and then... Forever. Have a play around.
Now, with this actual live stream, I use a little bit of talking when I make a sentence. And I'll loop something where it goes... ah, ah, ah. So maybe I want that little bit at the end, and we're going to move this onto a different track. So let's have a quick listen, see what this sounds like.
Just sounds like a really cool tremolo guitar. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a play around. We're going to make some tunes, and then they're going to be gone forever.
So I want that forever. Okay, so...
And then what we're going to do is...
maybe I'll start it there. Let's get rid of that little noise, which is right there.
And then...
So we'll go to there, and then we'll trim this. And let me just bring this back out again. All that waffle is now going to be deleted. This is our next song. You can see it right here. You can see from the waveform this is the song. And what we're then going to do is we're now going to actually bring this over to another track. This way I can keep track of all the different songs that I'm doing, and then review them, and if they're no good, I can get rid of them and end up with an album's worth of songs. So I'm going to repeat this process, and this is going to take a bit of time, so let's just do a time lapse. Go! Now, whilst I'm speeding up this process, one of the things you can do is release this music, and that is today's sponsor, which is DistroKid. DistroKid is a music distribution company where you can release as much music as you want to for one price per year. It's a subscription, which is $22.99. However, with the link that's in the description box, it's also that QR code, you can get 7% off your first annual membership. And that's what we're using today And I'm going to show you that later. So scan the QR code or click the link. Let's get back to making this album. So welcome back. What we now have is 15 different tracks across 2 different live streams, and I've split them into their individual tracks. And when you're looking at a live album, you have to forgive certain mistakes, and that's okay. If you do have mistakes, don't worry about it. So we spent 1 or 2 hours just getting these together. With this being a live stream, I was talking in between the songs, so I have cut some of that out. So we've gone through it manually and we've had a look at it, and I've also normalized each track. Now it's up to you if you then want to add mastering onto this. Of course, that's some kind of dark art that lots of people don't know how to do. But you have to remember, it is a live recording. These are all stereo out, so just a left and a right, taken from the live stream itself, whether that's YouTube or ReStream or Facebook, whichever it is. And the other thing as well is I got rid of 1 or 2 of the tracks, and we've ended up with 14. So I've now got 14 tracks. I've renamed them all based on what I sang at the time or what I feel it should be. And then the next part of this is just to bounce each track. The great part of this is I just highlight each track, and this is the reason why I have them all separated out, because I don't want each track to overlay on the other. But should you have them overlaid, you can just obviously mute all the others and then just bounce the 1 track you need. So with Logic, Command B for bounce, and then I'm just going to put it in WAV 32-bit float. It's at 44.1. The file type is interleaved. I'm not doing any dithering on it, and it just says there from 1 to 270. So we can include the audio tail, that's important, and then we just click OK. Now we're going to place this in a new album, so I'm just going to do it on my desktop. We're going to go new folder. I'm going to call it Looping My Brain Part 2. So you can see the title says Output 1 and 2, and all I'm going to do is just put 0, 1, and then the track name. So we'll bounce that track, and it's doing it right now. You can see the cursor is going across. There's a good long number, this one. And that's fine. That's track 1 done. And I'm just going to do the same with all the others. I'll unmute the second track, mute the first track, select it all, Command B, and just repeat that process. So the next part of this now is I've got a folder here which is called Looping My Brain Part 2, and we're going to upload this to DistroKid. One of the things you're going to need as well is album artwork. Now I have an album artwork from the previous one, which is part 1, and I've just changed the coloring on this. I use this with a mixture of things. There's an AI version of me, and I designed this on Canva. You can do this completely for free with canva.com. I'm not sponsored by them, just really easy to do. So next we're going to log into DistroKid and then upload our track and our album all in one go. So you can see we had our last one, which is Whiskey Jar, we did a couple of months back, and we're now going to upload another track. So we're going to go to upload music. So first of all, you can say what services you want, and you can tick or de-tick them all. I'm going to tick on Snapchat because I own all the publishing on this. And song-wise, you can go between 1 and 35. We've got 14 songs, so we're going to make this an album, and it says instantly it changes it from single to album. Has this album previously been released? I'm going to say no, and then we have the artist name, and you can log into all your different parts. I'm on the Musicians Plus tier, which is $39.99, and with the link that's in the description box, you'll still get 7% off that. But one of the things you can do is you can set the release date. Now it says setting your release date to at least 1 week in the future increases your chance of getting it added to playlists. So we're actually sitting on the 3rd of June right now. And if I have a look at the calendar, I'm going to set this to the 14th. It's actually while I'm away on holiday, but that doesn't matter. It's going to come out at that time. With Spotify, there's a couple of extra things. So for example, you can set the release time, and you can also have time synchronization. So it all comes out at the same time around the world. You've also got pre-ordering from iTunes and Amazon. Because I'm on the musicians tier, you've got a record label. So mine's just Jump On Music UK. I can set the price of the album if I want to. Just leave it at $9.99. The language, the primary genre, and the secondary genre. And the primary genre I'm going to put down is electronic, because we're using the looper. There's some sounds there and there's a bit of electronic sounds, and you can see there's a sub electronic you can put down if you wish to. You also have a secondary genre if you want to do that. If your album is crossing different genres, it's quite useful for people to find it. So I've put my secondary genre down as vocal because there's both vocal and electronic sounds there. I think that matches quite well. The album artwork, you can see it says 3000 by 3000 pixels in a JPEG format. And there we go, we put the album artwork in. Then we come to the album title. The first one was called Looping My Brain, and in brackets, Live, Raw and Unrehearsed Part 1. So we're going to do the same, but just call it Part 2. And then it's time to put the song title down for each one, and you can see it goes track 2, track 3, track 4, and you've got all the same elements for each track. So if we have a look at this now, you can see you got a preview there. So the first track is called Show Me When It's Good, and we're going to put that in now. We don't have any other artist on the title. It's not a version, this is just a normal version of it. And then it's asking if you have an ISRC code, and then you can drag the audio in. So we could select or drag the audio in. So if we've already got it up and running, we can just drag it over to there. That's it. It's great to have it in the highest quality you can. And you can see you can even do a thing where you can master your track with Mixia. Is it a Dolby or spatial audio track? No, it's not. Yes, I wrote it all. And who is the songwriter's real name? We'll put that in now. And then, of course, you can add another songwriter if you need to. You can copy the songwriter information to all the tracks on this album, which we'll do now. And it says, this will pre-fill all the songwriters on this album with the same as the specific track. We go do it, and it's done, and therefore you don't have to keep typing it all the time. So all you then need is the song title for each track, and then you need the actual audio. A couple of extra things. Does it have explicit lyrics? Is it a radio edit? Is it an instrumental? Preview clip start time, and then the individual track price for things like Amazon and iTunes. I'm going to carry on filling all of this in from track 2 to track 14, and we'll catch up in a minute. So welcome back. We've added all the tracks in, and it's a really good idea just to very slowly go through everything, make sure it all looks fine before you submit it. And when you get to the last track, you can see that you've got exactly the same stuff here. And then at the bottom, you've got extras, optional but awesome, and it's entirely up to you if you want to add them on. The first one is the Discovery Pack. So this album goes to the global databases that people use to match artist information. It's 99 cents per track. That's why it's $13.86 a year. This includes song recognition to millions of automobiles via Grace Note, registration to SoundScan, artist track and album credits officially listed by JAXA, and auto fingerprinting for rights protection. The next one is Store Maximizer. This will automatically deliver it to new stores as they add them. I'm actually going to do this with this one so it gets onto more places. Now, if you register an album as electronic, a new option comes up which is Beatport Unlimited Uploads. You can enable Beatport for your DistroKid account, and you'll be able to add this release plus any future or past electronic genre releases to Beatport, which is the #1 store for electronic music in the world. This is $9.99 a month, so be aware of this, and you need to judge whether you think that's best for you. The next one is YouTube Content ID and YouTube Creator Music, $14.95 a year, plus 20% of ad revenue that they detect. So if your music gets used in other people's videos, they can grab that and also give you 80% of the revenue. Now, if you're a YouTube content creator, this is a bit of a weird one, because what this means is you're using your music to promote your own music on YouTube, and you could get a copyright strike for yourself. So if you do tick this one, you can see it brings an entire list down about things that you need to tick and make sure this is, on, because this is really serious stuff. I created all the sounds myself. This album does not contain any beats, loops, effects, other audio that is not part of anything other than free GarageBand, Ableton, Logic, Fruity Loops. I promised to not allow other artists to remix this album or use the sounds in this album for their own songs. That's because their remix gets uploaded to YouTube. Content ID may be claimed as yours. So you have to be really careful with this one. I'm not going to tick it because I actually want it on YouTube Music, and I don't want to get a copyright strike on my own live stream that I've taken it from. So we'll leave it there. The other one is Leave a Legacy. This means that it'll stay up even if you no longer have a DistroKid account, as it were. So you can have it even if your credit card's declined, or if you're no longer there, it'll continue to accrue royalties and protect your music for future generations. And then you've got the loudness normalization. What's $2.99 one-time fee times 14. So this has got 14 tracks. It's $2.99 a track. So you have to be aware of this. However, what's quite nice is it says if your album is already loud enough, then this optimization will be skipped and you won't be charged. So for this one, I've only taken the Store Maximizer, and this is going to be $7.95, and this is going to happen every year. Again, any of these optional extras, you need to check whether it's going to be right for you, your duo, your band, whatever you're in. Then you've got mandatory checkbox ticks. So I have selected YouTube Music, so I won't get email DistroKid saying, why have you uploaded my music to YouTube? I won't use promo services that claim to get streams, even if they claim organic and real. And 100% of these services that use fake stream bots, easily detectable stream services, because if you do this, you could put yourself at risk. You could even have your account deleted. You've opted into Snapchat, so therefore you must have the necessary rights. Well, I made the whole music myself. It's not written by anyone else. There's no samples. It's all fine. I recorded this music, I certainly did, and I'm authorized to sell it worldwide and collect all the royalties. I'm not using any other artist's name or song titles or album titles without their approval, and I have read and agreed to the terms and conditions for DistroKid distribution agreement. So we're going to click done on all of this. It's going to verify this, and as you can see, it's going to upload the album artwork and all 14 tracks. Now, as it's uploading all the tracks as we speak right now, if you want to do this, there's a link in the description box which will give you 7% off your first annual membership with DistroKid, no matter which tier you choose. As I said, I'm on the $39.99 one, which gives me the 2 different tiers. There's me as John Paul, me and my mate Greg are Tokyo Wasteland, and it's never been easier to actually upload an album, as you quite clearly see here, as long as you've got the audio. This is technically a live album. We live streamed it, and then we took the audio from it, took out all the waffle that I talked in the middle, and we took 1 or 2 away. We ended up with 14 tracks. We normalized the tracks and bounced them down, giving them names, and then uploading them to DistroKid. This is something that's so easy to do, and because DistroKid charge 1 price per year, you can release as much music as you want to. I'm releasing right now a live stream album. You can release a live album from a gig or every gig. And of course, you can release singles, EPs, albums, whatever you want to. So now it's all uploaded and it says done. That was easy, wasn't it? It showcases the artwork, and it does say here a message that I did say to you before. It's cutting it close. It says because the release date is under 4 weeks old, then it's possible that it won't be released everywhere live on the release date. This is why I would recommend to upload the tracks at least a month before your preferred release date. However, this is also why I've got the store maximizer, so it gets added to the different stores as we go. However, this is where you can get to work. Straight away, we've got a pre-save page, which is called a hyperfollow page, and you can preview it. You can click it straight away, and you can see it there. So we can do Spotify pre-save, and as the services become live, you'll get a preview, and you'll get more services coming down this kind of line here. If we now go back home, you can see there's Looping My Brain Part 1, there's Looping My Brain Again Part 2, and this one's got a yellow symbol on it saying that it's processing the 14 tracks. This one had 13 tracks, and it's showing where it's sending out that album to all the different stores. And if you want to see the 2 live streams where that album has come from, they're right here. Go and enjoy and have a listen, but also in between the songs, get a bit of a laugh as well. And who knows, there might be a part 3 on its way soon.